So what I wanted to do in this video is give you a few more examples of how to draw Bohr models. I went through it in detail last time, but I wanted to go through more examples because it can be a little bit tricky for some people. Unlike last time, this is just going to be in one color just to make my life a little bit easier. We're going to try and go through this as quickly as we can. Make sure you have your periodic table out so that you can follow along, and we'll see if we can make sure that this is something that's really solid for you in case you need that extra help before you move on. So what we're going to do is work through a few examples, and I wanted to start with the example of lithium. So lithium, if you take a look on your periodic table, is actually in the first row, second column. So I know it can be a little bit tricky to find some of these things in your periodic table. So first column, sorry, I mixed that up, and second row, you're going to find lithium. And so we're going to use that box to help us figure out everything we need to. First thing we always want to do is find the number of protons, the number of neutrons, and the number of electrons. And so the atomic number for lithium, that's the number that's in the top left-hand corner of that box, is 3. Since this is just lithium and it has no charge, it also has 3 electrons. Now, I kind of mentioned this, that some elements can lose and gain electrons. Just to give you an idea what that would look like is you would see a little symbol in superscript, so in the top right-hand corner. And it would either be a positive or a negative. If you don't see that number, protons and electrons are the same. Okay, the neutrons, to find the neutrons, remember we take the atomic mass, subtract the protons. And so if you look at lithium on your periodic table, it says that the atomic mass is 6.94. So we're going to round this up to 7 because we need to have a whole number in order to find the neutrons. So we're going to take 7 minus the protons, so 3, and lithium has 4 neutrons. So our next step is we want to draw the nucleus. So protons and neutrons go in the center. Draw a circle to represent your nucleus, and then draw a circle to represent your first orbital. You need to have 3 electrons in total, but remember the first orbital can only hold 2. So 1, 2. You need to have 3 and you filled the first orbital, so add another orbital. You only need it to hold 1. It could hold 8 maximum, but that's how many it holds. It's just the 1 in this case. How many valence electrons? Well, it only has 1 in its outside orbital, so it only has 1 valence electron. So that's our example of lithium. So what we're going to do in our next example is we're going to take a look at, let's say, phosphorus. So phosphorus on your periodic table, let's take a look. It's symbol P. And so if we're looking at your periodic table, phosphorus is found in the 15th column, 3rd row. So that's where you're going to find it right there. So if we're taking a look at phosphorus, again, we want to find protons very first. So phosphorus is atomic number 15, so it has 15 protons. Neutrons, remember, is the atomic number, atomic mass, my bad, minus the number of protons. And so the atomic mass for phosphorus is 30.97, we round that to 31, minus the 15 protons, you get 16 neutrons. So that's how many neutrons we have in phosphorus. There's no charge shown in the top right-hand corner, so protons and electrons have to be the same. So we have 15 electrons. All right, we draw the nucleus first, protons and neutrons in the center. So 15 protons, 16 neutrons. Draw your circle to represent your nucleus. First orbital, 2 electrons can go in the first orbital. We need 15 in total, so we need a second orbital. So our second orbital, remember, can hold a maximum of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's used up 10 electrons in total. That's not good enough here. We need 15. So I even need to move over a little bit. And we need to draw another orbital. So we add another ring around the outside. We've used up 10. We need 15. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. Now I have 15 electrons. Now, you may have noticed the way that I put these in here. I paired up my electrons and I started top, right, bottom, left. And I did that and made sure that I had one by itself in each case. This is not something that you necessarily have to do unless your instructor tells you to, but if you continue on with chemistry and you start learning more, it actually makes a lot of sense and it will help you kind of understand some of those things a little bit later. I hope that helps a little bit, getting those extra examples. And if there is anything you're struggling with, you really should make sure that you figure that out, deal with it now before we move on. Because what we're going to do next is take a look when things do have that charge and the electrons aren't so simple. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.